Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessToTrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a good day of trading. Guys, take a moment out, support the channel. All it takes is a tenth of a second. Click that like button. Hopefully, again, I will point you in the right direction. So kind of an odd day, right? Kind of an odd day. I'm at the point of my career, and I've been like this for many, many years. If you're just joining this channel for the first time today, the last couple of days, I'm doing this from 1999, right? I'm doing this for a very, very long time. I started this when I was 24, 25. I'm 51 years old. I started with a company by the name of Generic Trading, Carlin Financial. You could Google them. You could see they were, the pioneers of the whole trading world for many, many years. And the most important part is I've seen so many scenarios where traders lose focus, right? Lose focus because of the bright lights, lose focus because of noise, lose focus because of headlines, and they don't realize the big picture is still intact. And years and years and years ago, I would have seen a market completely reverse course of what I was thinking going into the next trading day, and I would have been trading on that side of the market and yada, 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 you know what's going to happen next. So years and years and years ago, I figured out that, again, your value basis, and again, if you've been watching this kind of broadcast, you kind of know, your value is based on your research from the night before, right? Night before. It's not based on when you wake up at 9:30 in the morning and see the hot stock of the day. It's based on your research. And you're at the point of, in your development, is the more research you can get going into the next trading day, the higher probability something, right? Something will confirm and you'll get from point A to point B. The most important part of a new trader's kind of development and kind of going forward in your career, it's very tough to not to deviate from your opinion. It's very, very hard. Because again, when you see the bright lights, when you see the noise happening, you get you get seduced by it, and next thing you know you're trading the opposite of what you want. So if you guys remember, going in from the weekend video, we had our first close below the 150-day moving average on the QQQs, right? Obviously, a lot of moving parts. You got oil, the oil trade overnight of the cash futures. You have a lot of moving parts of Iran, potential hold, potential continuation in fighting, a lot of stuff, right? A lot of stuff. So the fact that we reverse course and we're green today, it does nothing for me, right? I don't sit there and go, oh, I have to buy stocks. Because if you guys remember on Friday, well, the market was green as well. And then we sold off hell in a handbasket into the close. So I was kind of waiting, right? I had my game plan. I was waiting for channels to the downside. And the problem is they never came, right? The problem is that they never came. And at one point, the market rallied, pretty decent. When you look at the final tally, not so much, right? You got the Dow up 0.7%, the S&P up 1%, and the QQQs or the NASDAQ 100 up 1%. So here's the good news, right? Here's the good news, and then I'll give you the bad news, and then you kind of make a determination of what you want to do for tomorrow's session. So the good news is, what we talked about on the weekend video, is the bulls got back above that 597 level, right? They reclaimed the 150-day moving average, right? That's the glass half full. The glass half empty is, well, there was like 5 stocks that price advanced over the previous day's range. Matter of fact, if you look at where the QQQs got rejected, they got rejected on the previous 3 days worth of highs, and they sold off pretty aggressively from those highs. And we're back in this range. So here's kind of the question going into tomorrow's session, right? Is the glass half full or the glass half empty? Or again, depending on your strategy. Based on where I'm sitting, right? Based on what I'm seeing is only a handful of stocks price improved above Friday's channels, right? Only a handful. And that's a very, very important point. Majority of names that traded from on the upside today were at a green day. Put it in an inside day, right? An inside day after technical damage is not exactly a victory. Again, I use it, and maybe it's some poor choice of judgment to say this, but again, who the hell wants to be the tallest dwarf? Respectfully, right? Again, it's like losing $10,000 in blackjack and you hit for $150 and you're sitting there happy as hell. what exactly did you accomplish? So I think tomorrow is a very, very important day for the bulls to kind of get some more traction. Okay, I really, really believe that. And again, here's where I think the bulls need to reclaim. You see, though, the last 3 days worth of highs, the Qs got rejected off of that 604 level 3 days in a row, right? 3 days in a row. And at one point today, we were nowhere near that 604 level until Nvidia started coming out with their keynote, right? Their keynote presentation, their whatever it was, right? Some sort of, whatever, the Huang was speaking, and you could see these headlines. You could see these headlines here. A lot of stuff going on in Nvidia. And Nvidia actually came out with some pretty good stuff, right? Huang said they're expecting, what was the number they were expecting? He was expecting a big number. Let's see, Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang expects revenues to surpass $1 trillion, right? $1 trillion by 2027. And that's what got the Qs at least back up to the triple of the last 3 day range. If it wasn't for that announcement, this would never happen. And honestly, the market kind of spoke really volumes. You had this big spike. He announced that $1 trillion surpass of revenue by 2027, and they sold it. Right? Again, sometimes on the surface, you talk about, the announcement, right? The announcement, you couldn't get any more bullish of announcement, the same way you couldn't have even more of a bullish quarter that Nvidia had, but yet they sold both. And it's very, very kind of a testament to kind of where the market is. I mean, are there names that are strong? Absolutely. Micron today was within like 50 cents of its all-time highs. Sanders today was within like $5 of its all-time highs. Like, these are the outliers, right? These are the monsters. And again, Micron comes out with earnings on Wednesday, and we'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow as we get closer to the scenario as well. Is all this priced in, right? Is all this good news, this price action posted in? Again, we don't know. We won't know until they come on to earnings. But the big picture, right? The big picture is majority, right? Majority of stocks put in inside day, the Qs, and these are the fine points. These are just the facts, guys. Again, I'm not a bear. If all you guys know it for a long time, I'm a realist. Wherever the market goes, I go. But again, I very, very strongly believe in technical analysis and where the market is trending and where it's not trending. And again, here are the 5 points. Market got sold on the initial spike into the 3 day supply of Nvidia's announcement of the $1 trillion revenues by 2027. Again, these are facts. The Qs got rejected now at 604, 3 days in a row. These are facts, and 90% of all technology names put in an inside day, which is not great. Here's what has to happen tomorrow. Again, we discussed this very, very specifically a couple of minutes ago. The QQQs need to get back above 604 and stay there. Close above 604 at least will give the bulls a little bit of breathing room, right? Breathing room, because again, taking out a 3 day channel is at least productive, okay? The last thing we want to do today or tomorrow is give back that 597 level, right? We do not want to give back that 597 because eventually we will start attacking Friday's lows. And if you look at charts tonight, charts are a mess, dude. I mean, they are an absolute mess. If you trade technology, again, look, you could be lucky and buy random levels and make some money here and there. Of course, it's like it gets 50-50. Either your stock is either going to go up or down off of a random level. So that you can do. You can guess, you can anticipate, you can hope. But the ironic part about it is that's not being a trader. That's being a pretty good guesser or trying to be a pretty good guesser. I only took one trade today. I literally took one trade today. Tesla got back above Friday's channel. We knew there was supply coming in on 404. I bought the first dip. We got a couple of bucks into supply. I was waiting for the market to implode. That didn't implode. Again, like I said, I'm at the point of my career, and I've been here for a very, very long time, that I don't need to pacify my ego of being right. I don't need to trade for the sake of being right. I have other things to do during my day. So when you have all these factors and you're able to sit there disciplined, right? You're able to sit there watching the noise, listen to the noise, watching for the bright stars and stuff, and still not be phased. That's when you start getting personal development growth as a trader. So tomorrow, yes, I am watching both sides of the market. Let me give you guys some ideas for tomorrow. I got some longs that I'm watching. I got some shorts that I'm watching. Obviously, the first couple of stocks I'm watching to the upside will be Micron. If Micron could get back above the January highs, why not, right? Why not? This stock has been in its own bull market. Again, I don't know if it's going to get there, right? I don't know if it's going to get there, but at least if you're going to buy a stock that's strong, right? Buy a stock that's attacking its 52-week highs. Same thing with Santis. Is it possible that both attack their 52-week highs tomorrow? Sure, why not? At least let's watch. If we're going to watch anything to the upside, let's definitely watch those to the upside. I kind of like PLTR if we have another day up, right? We saw some buying coming in. Again, the chart is not going to be obvious to a lot of people, but we did see some pretty good 155 and 160 weeklies. Are these people just throwing darts at a dartboard, throwing, what into the wall and hope it sticks? Maybe, but I want to keep an eye on this thing. If it takes out Friday's channel, if it gets above Friday's channel, let's keep an eye on it. I will interestingly take a potential long on this thing if it could take out Friday's channel. Look at Marvel, right? Had a good quarter, came back down, right? Came back down, got back above the 5-day moving average. Again, in case the Qs get back above 604, I will definitely keep an eye on that as well. Let me give you guys some shorts, obviously, right? Tesla, can't get out of its own way, man. It traded into the 20-day supply. We knew it was going to get traded into the 20-day supply. We kicked out 90% of our position for the 20-day supply, and the stock has faded basically to almost $10 into the close. I want to watch it, right? I want to watch it. Again, whatever can't come out of its channel, has to go down. So I want to watch Tesla tomorrow. If it starts losing Friday's channel, it looks like a pretty sexy short. Microsoft cannot get out of its own way. An inside day, I want to watch it below Friday's channel. Avago can't do anything, right? Can't do anything. Another inside day, didn't take out the highs, briefly touched the Friday's lows. So I want to keep an eye on this thing if it comes down. And Nvidia, right? Nvidia, it's kind of like when they came out with earnings, right? They sold off good earnings and the next day watched it again. Well, today, they sold off on pretty good news, right? Pretty good news. And now it's down like, 70, 80 cents after hours. So we're kind of set up on both sides. But if you're sitting there and you're thinking you're going to get breakouts on these massive channels, where are these massive channels? There's a beautiful move for all you guys who caught Kava today, right? Kava looks great, right? Kava looks great. It broke out above 86.50, a little bit too thin for me. Does it look like it wants to go to 89.90? Sure, right? But again, it's like finding a diamond in the rough. It's very, very tough to find a stock that's above their range. Dell is another one. Dell had Dell looks exactly like Kava right? Dell is another one, got above the range. But again, you can count them on like 2-3 fingers how many charts are very clean. Everything else is in a distribution channel. Everything else is sitting on inside days from Friday selling. And the question is, what happens next? We shall see, said the blind man. We shall see. Guys, have a great night, everybody. God bless. Stay blessed. Stay disciplined, folks. Again, stay disciplined. When you're in the middle of a distribution cycle that's trading on the supply, it's very easy to get distracted. It's very easy to get blinded by the light. But the key is the professionals don't. They will sit there, won't deviate from their plan, and wait for it to confirm organically. Guys, have a great night, everybody. God bless. I'll see you on the field tomorrow.